are Amelio and Lidia Giannetta, Southern Baptist missionaries. I believe in missions. I ought to, because all my life has been related to missions. I grew up at the Baptist orphanage in Rome, Italy, and when I felt the call to the ministry, Alice and Duimo, our missionaries, were the first ones that encouraged me in the ministry.
Amelio and I worked for 7 years as home missionaries in California, starting the Italian Baptist work in the San Francisco Bay Area and the Buona Novella broadcast, which is still in the air after 36 years. For almost 20 years, we were foreign missionaries to Brazil, and in the last 10 years, we have been missionaries in Italy.
Paul says, "I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God unto salvation." The gospel is the good news of God's redeeming love and grace through Jesus Christ. I believe in the power of the gospel because it changed my life, and because I saw it change the life of people from all walks of life, nations and religions. For this reason, something within me rebelled every time I heard that the Baptist work in Italy did not progress because the Italians were too hard to be converted. For 11 years, I was the executive secretary of the Board of Evangelism of the Brazilian Baptist Convention. We had a great ministry.
I sang in evangelistic meetings. Here I'm singing at the Maracanã Stadium. We had 2 national evangelistic crusades with great rallies and a total of 200,000 decisions for the Lord. We baptized around 25,000 people per year.
During these years, I prayed, "Lord, I would like to go to be a missionary to Italy, a testimony of the living gospel that can change the hearts of the Italian people." At the end of 1979, Saverio Guarna, Secretary of the Department of Evangelism of the Italian Union, invited me to help him for 4 months. I decided to conduct church growth seminars of 15 days each in local churches. Soon I discovered that I was mostly unwanted and resented. The more sympathetic toward me were curious and skeptic. My first seminar was in Mottola in southern Italy. The Lord visited us. We had a revival that brought new life, and many were saved. 12 people were baptized. The pastor, Pino Mollica, a few months later said, "We have evangelized more persons in this last few months than in the previous 20 years.
After the 4 months were over, the Italian Union invited us to work 1 more year in Italy. During these first 14 months, we lived in 40 homes of church members who took us in.
In my first seminars, people were called to my attention that my illustrations of conversions, like the one of Donna Santina, the governor's wife of the state of Bahia, or of Roberto of Rio Claro in São Paulo, were too dramatic and did not fit the Italian culture because such conversions in Italy were not possible. Here is Robert and his wife after conversion.
By the end of 1982, 225 adults had made a public profession of faith, and 131 of them had been baptized.
I did not use any more illustrations of conversions from California or Brazil. I used illustrations of people converted in Italy. I talked about Cosimo Pace. The first time I met Cosimo, his wife said, "He is a violent man and curses God continually."
Cosimo had spent 10 years in a high-security prison with a death sentence hanging over his head.
Cosimo Pace. Pace in Italian means peace, but Cosimo never had peace. When he accepted the Lord, he told me, "Do you know what I have done? I have let Jesus into my heart, and I have locked the door, and I threw away the key. I don't want him to leave me anymore." In my preaching, I use illustrations of people whose lives have been wonderfully changed by the power of the gospel. Here are some.
Guido and Giuseppina, Gerardo e Adriana, the D'Ambrosios of Rome, and Giovanni and Anna Maria of Florence, and of people like you and me.
Now, when I speak of growing churches, I speak of the church in Mottola, Matera, Gravina, or Santeramo, a church which had dwindled down to 7 members.
The baptistry of Conversano had been dry for 11 years. In less than 3 years, 22 persons were baptized and the church membership doubled.
In 1981, I had the first church growth seminar at Trastevere, a Baptist church in Rome, a church 1 century old. As a result of the seminar, 16 people were baptized.
Amelio and I joined the church. I became the organist, and we began giving more and more time to Trastevere.
Signore è il mio pastore, nulla mai mi mancherà. Questa promessa è la promessa del Signore a tutti quanti noi questa mattina, e per questa ragione noi lodiamo il Signore e iniziamo cantando l'inno numero 31.
We tried to start a Sunday school for all ages. It took a year and a half before the idea was accepted. The church kept growing. When we became 50 members in 1984, Amelio told the leaders, "We must plan to reach 100. The answer was yes, maybe 40 years.
In 1987, I became the pastor of Trastevere. Cristiano.
The church Rome was growing, but our Sunday's assistance had reached its space capacity. So we began having 2 worship services and 2 Sunday schools.
In January 1990, we closed our ministry at Trastevere with 110 members. Other 18 persons have made professions of faith and will be baptized later on.
As we leave, our Sunday school averages 99 people. Our Sunday attendance is around 146. In 1989, we baptized 21 persons and started a 30-minute weekly TV program.
Carissimi, salve e benvenuti all'incontro settimanale con Vita Nuova, un programma di esperienze, testimonianze e brevi riflessioni dalla parola di Dio. Questa settimana il nostro programma sarà
We have 22 foreign members in our church. When we had our first seminar in 1981, the church budget was $14,000. The 1989 budget was $82,000. Our last Christmas love gift was $4,500, the largest in the history of the Italian Union. Plus, we gave another $820 for the Armenian victims struck by the earthquake. The church has been sensitive to the needs of people and has helped also many refugees from Romania. Here we are in a gypsy camp sharing Bibles, clothing, and food at Christmas 1988. The Lord does marvelous things. He has never changed, and His mission goes on through His people.
Our lives and our ministry are a testimony of God's people working together for His glory. Many of you have been prayer partners for many years. Only God knows how many blessings have come our way as answer to your prayers. 1 month, we received more than 1,200 letters from children who were praying for us. When I had cancer, the people prayed. God said yes. And after 1 year, we returned to Italy. When we think about your sacrificial giving to missions, we can only say, Lord, thank you for allowing us to be part of this great Baptist family around the world.
Hai tu accettato Gesù come il tuo Signore e il tuo Salvatore?
Sì, lo credo.
Ebbene, in obbedienza al comando di Cristo Gesù, io ti battezzo in nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. Amen.
After 30 years, we have come home. Who will take our place? Why not you?
Jesus said, "You shall be my witnesses to the uttermost part of the earth."